Whenever Ruka actually got implemented in the story, or I guess implemented in the opening, whenever I saw the opening, actually, I was really interested into seeing like what her character was and who she was actually going to become. Ruka's a character that, so far, looks absolutely brilliant on screen. She has that almost like shy personality. No, you know what? Actually, if you really think about this, and this actually just came to mind, and as do such a lot of other things, despite me taking notes. But that's neither here nor there. But if you actually look at Ruka and who she is as a person, you notice that she's a lame-o too, kind of like Kazuya. Kazuya states that. But if you notice, she has this stance to her that she's independent, right? She has this stance to where she's an independent person, but almost like thinks like Kazuya, but acts like the man, quote unquote, he should be. So that's really interesting kind of presentation there, and I really do enjoy that because it's something that most people aren't just going to pick up on, I don't think. I mean, of course, I'm sure some of you guys did viewing, actually watching this, noticed that as well, but nonetheless, it's actually really interesting to see that. That's kind of sneaky how they did that, and it's really cool because now it's just kind of like, can I kind of project her onto Kazuya in a way to see if Kazuya actually stood on his own 2 feet? Because you see at the end of the episode, she's even waiting for Kazuya to come down. Like, she is assertive. She told, Chizuharu and well, Kazuya that they even weren't together. But before we get too far into that, I just want to kind of talk about what she could do for the story. I think she's going to be a character that is either going to be one drawn to Kazuya, and Kazuya may even be drawn to her because she is what Kazuya isn't. And it's interesting because there may be a little bit of foreshadowing to that as well, because Chizuharu even says during this episode that it's inspiring to see people kind of go all out. And I think that's kind of what Ruka does. She goes all out despite knowing what she is. She's trying to grow. And even, Chizuharu even mentioned that the rent-a-girlfriend process is to grow. Maybe that's actually why she's there. Once again, you could project Kazuya onto her and see her thought process and seeing how it could be foreshadowed, not even necessarily foreshadowing, but references and foreshadowing from Chizuharu's dialogue. That's what I got from it in my perspective. So, but also you even see her actually try to confront Kazuya and Mizuharu and tell them, hey, if you're dating, then why not, just a little peck on the lips and prove it to everyone. Just a little kiss, and that will prove it to everyone. And of course, we see how they end up doing this. And of course, you'll see my thumbnail, which if it comes out right, it's going to be a damn good thumbnail. But nonetheless, I think that's really interesting because that's something that we didn't necessarily, see a character coming in to do. This show is being more direct with cliches. Once again, it's attacking those. I know some people pick on the show. Some people adore the show like myself. But nonetheless, it's both of those things. It's a funny entertainment show. But at the same time, it has a lot of realism, man. This show, it has more than what people are seeing. I think some people just aren't noticing it through whether that be an experience of a bunch of shows or whether it just be they kind of written off too early, like we do in our community sometimes. This show has more to it than meets the eye, and that's just an irrefutable fact. It does. I've seen too many people who also like the series have seen far too many shows that are similar to it, and we see through that. And we see what the show's doing and how it's portraying itself and carrying itself. There's more to the show than meets the eye, for sure. But one thing I do want to say that I actually enjoy, just totally enjoy, is the realism of Kazuya. Once again, I don't need to go in depth. We've all been Kazuya, especially if we are inexperienced. Sometimes maybe they make things a little slightly over dramatic, which I don't think they have a lot really at all. But they do still sometimes. But nonetheless, the point's there. We can project a little bit in a way. We can connect to this kid. But also, whenever you look at Kazuya, and one thing he did do that's super realistic and how we do, especially when we're going for a girl or we're with a girl or we just misread the room, usually it's due to one of our friends. It really is. And it's crazy because in those mental states, we're almost so emotionally... I'm going to go with fragile, and I mean fragile in the sense of we can be swayed very easily. Our emotions are so... We want to do what we hear, right? We listen to what we'd like to hear. We have this fictional setting in our head, and we for example, Kazuya's friend says, well, you jumped in and saved her. I mean, if that doesn't show love, then what does? Well, guess what? She saves you. Well, wait, does that mean she loves me? exactly what Kazuya did this episode. The thought process always gets swayed because whenever your feelings are strong enough, even if you know that, like we come to that, that understanding now, we always say, but if I can make sense of it logically, it makes sense and let me gravitate towards that. Whether I do it in a bold move or whether I just kind of drive myself crazy thinking about it. So those are kind of things, that always happen to us. Thought process. People say this or that. Oh, I think so-and-so is up to some sketchy stuff by the way she's talking to you. Oh, is she? Oh my gosh, what do I do? Do I ask her? I think so-and-so is up to some sketchy stuff. I think you need to talk to your boyfriend. Hey, what have you been doing? Those kind of things always happen whenever we listen to outside voices. And, it's crazy because sometimes listening to outside voices can be the best thing for you, but also can be the most detrimental thing for you. But I think, during this time, Kibe was not wrong when he did say that to Kazuya. Chizuharu, through subtext, is constantly showing signs that she likes Kazuya. Yeah, we can keep dating, though. Yeah, we can still continue going out for a while. I'm not going to put a date on it, but we're just going to stay for a while. So, but we can't keep lying to him. So let's keep this morally correct and respectable, while also not, giving it up. It's just kind of that thing, like one of those things where, like, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes anymore. I'm just going to cut back. And, those are things that I just enjoy from the show immensely. And through the tsundere personality, which I think they've actually done so far, I think they've done Chizuharu's tsundere personality really well. I really do. Like, I truly, truly do. She's not too over the top about it. It's there, but she's a very, like, kind of understanding tsundere. Like, there's so many tsunderes out there, man, that, like, I literally can't, like, talk to them. Like, I would never be able to because it's literally an attitude every second of the day. Everything that person says that they like, it's always an attitude. With Kazuya, you see, like, literally 3 different sides of Chizuharu. You see the Chizuharu in school around her friends with the, trying to preserve her identity. You see the Chizuharu that's on dates with Kazuya, the false persona. You see Chizuharu who's being her tsundere self, her real self. But then there's a fourth one. You see Chizuharu being open. You see her being honest. You see her being just straightforward with Kazuya, not mean, not anything. Just like, I'm being you and having a heart-to-heart because I have a connection to you. So you see who she is on the outside. You see who she is once you get closer to, to that heart and those heartstrings. And then once you get to those heartstrings, you see who she really is. There's a cool thing from the God of High School last week's episode, and it stated this. It said, whenever someone, is basically with their backs on the rope and or beaten down, you'll see who they really are. And I try to look at Chizuharu and all the kind of secrets she's hiding, and I'm just kind of like, who are you really? At what point will we fully see you crack? Because we've seen Chizuharu show a piece of herself. We've seen her show another side of herself that's not necessarily the true her. We've seen her be a tsundere. We've seen her open up and be emotional. We've seen her save Kazuya's life. We've seen different layers to her. We've seen the false ones and the real ones. But we have not seen Chizuharu at her core. And that's the thing that interests me, because the closest we've gotten to that is her watching TV and laughing and having so much fun. And we even had Kazuya state, I've never gotten her to be like this. Wow, I really am a burden. So whenever we finally get to that moment to where she cracks into or breaks, I'm very, very curious to see what kind of person she is. Because once again, whenever someone's heart's been shattered, whenever someone has been emotionally shattered, you see who they really are. So, or you see them fold. So that's interesting. But other than that, the last thing I want to say about the whole subtext thing and how she feels is she talks about clients. We've never seen her with another client. We've never once seen her with another client. We've seen her only with Kazuya. We see Kazuya setting up dates, and she's always available, not just on Wednesdays, but anytime. She's always available. Isn't that weird to you? Person watching this video, isn't that weird to you? Well, what if I said she has no other clients? What if I said she's intentionally not having any other clients? What if Kazuya is her only client for a reason? She says she has these other clients, and she says clients plural all the time, but yet we've never seen another client. But yet we've always seen her available for dates every time. That's just my thoughts. So other than that, though, guys, you guys have been hexed. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, X25. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thank you so much for watching.